Welcome back from the break, Rams, and to another week of the Red Zone. I'm Sidney Wicker.
And I'm Ethan Bird. Sidney, we've been talking a lot about the Broncos the past couple weeks, and well, to be honest, there's not a whole lot to talk about this week, so I thought we could switch it up.
Yeah, Ethan, this week we are bringing you a rapid-fire sports update. So, well, let's start. Not to mention, last week we talked about Colin Hill. He was out for the rest of the season. So it was Patrick O'Brien who came in to lead the Rams this week.
O'Brien completed 32 of 52 passes on Saturday against Toledo for 405 yards, but only one touchdown, with Warren Jackson pulling in 12 of those receptions.
Now, we did see O'Brien, who was able to not score the game-winning goal for the Rams, but he was able to start working with this offense. And after the game, O'Brien said, "I think there's definitely some nerves to start off, but I think as the game progressed, I thought I settled in and started to make some throws. I thought I put our team in good situations, and we just need to build on that and make ourselves a better offense." Now, Ethan, I kind of agree with what he said here. They definitely need to start working better together. But with this Utah State game coming up, I don't know how much they can turn it around in a week.
Well, I think the big thing for Patrick O'Brien is converting that production. That 405 yards is a lot of yards. That's nothing to scoff at, but only one touchdown in all of that. And I think that's one of the more glaring statistics because Marvin Kinsey can't do everything. You know, that's 405. That's mathematically 4 whole touchdowns. And you'd like to see 1 or 2 more. And in order for us to even try to take on such a strong Utah State team, he's got to produce more touchdowns.
Absolutely. My biggest question after hearing that was, how are you going to win the games?
Yeah.
When it comes down to it, yeah, he led the Rams pretty well. He had, like you said, over 400 yards. But how are you going to win the games? It doesn't matter if you have all those yards at the end. You've got to win the football games.
That you do. Well, it is crazy to believe, but hoop season is back. But we're already thinking about next year. CSU Women's Basketball secured some new recruits this week, 2 Colorado natives.
Yeah, that first native comes from Greenwood Village, Colorado. Callie Clark is coming from Cherry Creek High School. Going into her senior season, Ford is averaging a career double-double, 15.3 points per game, and 11 rebounds per game. She's a huge new face to add for the Rams.
And on the other side, she'll have Michaela Hemingway. The Aurora, Colorado native just finished up her junior season, and she averaged 14.3 points per game, 5.7 rebounds per game, and 4.4 steals per game. But I've just got to brag on her for a second, because she hails from my alma mater, Cherokee Trail High School, and all I have to say about that is go Cougs.
Well, men's basketball tipped off their season with their first practice today, and Ethan?
And they announced today that head coach Nico Medved added former Drake basketball player C.J. Rivers to his coaching staff. Rivers played under Medved during his time at Drake, and Rivers said that a big part of his choosing to come to CSU was the relationship that he built with Coach Medved as a player.
Yeah, and looking at the players, Nico Carvacho is back for another season with CSU. The redshirt senior entered his name into the 2019 NBA draft, and he made the decision to come back to CSU for his senior year. Now, Carvacho played 1,010 minutes last season and had 414 total rebounds. Carvacho is coming into the season with something to prove.
Well, Nico's such a special player, and we were so lucky to watch him last year, and he's only gotten better every year. So I think that being able to watch Nico is going to be even more fun this year. And they're going to start it off pretty fun.
Oh, yeah, they are going to start off really fun. Ethan, they're traveling to Duke. They're going to play in Cameron Indoor Stadium. I'm really excited for this game just because it's against Duke. Like, you can't be excited to see that.
How can you not be excited to, 1, watch CSU basketball, but 2, watch one of the most historic teams in all of college basketball play, your own team? But I don't know. They don't have Zion or RJ, so how?
Ethan, are we going to start telling me I'm stupid early this week? I sure hope not.
Maybe. Well, Sidney, I think it is only fair to do another volleyball watch list.
Absolutely, Ethan. They've been killing it. They've had 2 games. I mean, they do have 2 games this week. And so we got to start off with their game against New Mexico. Now, UNM's outside hitter, Lauren Twitty, is leading the Lobos with 51 total attacks in their last game, and she led the team with 19 digs. And now the Lobos are 5-7 on the season, but you never can go into a game too confident.
And one player for CSU who will be important in ensuring that they take down New Mexico is Sasha Colombo. You see, the 6'2" middle blocker played a minimal role in the beginning of the season, but has really ramped up her involvement in recent matches. And on the other side of the net, Colombo will have to look out for UNLV outside hitter Shelby Kaplanch. Kaplanch is the leading scorer for the Rebels, and it'll be huge for Colombo to get in her face and mitigate her point production against the Rams.
Yeah, absolutely. Now Colombo has gotten into her groove, but I'm curious to see how this team's formation continues to stack up. But looking at UNLV, Katie Olasak has been consistently dominant for the Rams with 352 assists so far this season. She's been working well with her front line and setting up the Rams for some huge kills.
Oh yeah, I mean, Katie Olasak was named the preseason Player of the Year by Mountain West coaches and writers. So she's huge in every single match, and this team has been coming up huge lately. They won 3 matches last week in dominant fashion and raised themselves up to number 17 in the nation.
Yeah, pretty cool for the CSU Rams to be doing that. I think UNLV is going to be the harder matchup of the two, but I think this Rams team is really coming in hot, and I don't know if they can be shut down.
I don't see anybody stopping them in conference play, so it'll be very interesting and fun to watch.
Yes, for sure.
And of course, we have to end on another week of Tell Me I'm Stupid. So, Sydney, please tell me this week that I'm going to be telling you you're stupid.
Well, I don't know if you are or not, so I guess we're going to have to find out. But my question for you this week is, should the NCAA reconsider the targeting rule in college football?
I'm going to have to tell you you're stupid on that one.
Okay.
Because, I mean, college football is a place where players, they come to develop and they come to but try to ensure that they can go to the next level. And if they can't if they get injured due to a severe concussion, those dreams are gone. But I think on a level, it does go too far. I think the suspension rule might be a little too much. Yeah, I get the ejection for the rest of the game, but I don't know if I agree with ejecting a player all the way into the next second half.
And that's where I really think this targeting rule should be reconsidered. Looking at how these players are being kicked out of games for the rest of the game plus the next game, I think that can hurt a lot of teams. So I would like to see that be reconsidered and what they could do with that. But I think having the penalty is really huge, especially in college football, because you need to protect those heads. Like we've tried better helmets, we've tried all these other things, but you really got to keep going with it. You've got to use as much protection as possible because football is a very dangerous sport, as we know.
Absolutely. And I think what it comes down to is you want the players playing in your league to fear hurting someone else, but you also don't want them to fear playing the game. Yeah. And I think that's somewhat of what's happening is they players are fearing to make big hits on a level, and that might be a detriment to the game, but also I struggle on the other side is where we want to protect these players who have huge potentials and huge futures. And if you're not protecting, one, if the NCAA has to protect their assets, but two, you kind of just have to protect human beings, especially with how CTE is going. You have to protect people's brains or they just won't work.
Yeah, absolutely. Then I had to ask you because I know you were at the Wisconsin-Michigan game this weekend, and there was 2 targeting calls in that game. I'm still mad at you for going because I'm a huge Michigan fan, and that was tough to watch. But
I mean, are you referencing the hit on Dylan McCaffrey?
Dylan McCaffrey, yeah.
So yeah, that was definitely a pretty dirty hit.
You took out my quarterback. What do you mean?
I didn't do it. Why are you yelling at me?
Well, you were cheering for the Badgers, so.
I was.
Well, anyways, Rams, that looks like that's all the time we have for you this week, but to stay updated on sports throughout the week, be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at sports_CTV. I'm Sydney Wicker.
And I'm Ethan Bird, but don't go anywhere because coming up next, Janae Hancock has all you need to know about filling your heart with good pups in this weekend's Tour de Corgi. Entertainment is coming up next.